Hey everyone. So here again, doing another review. I just want to do a big shout out to everyone who watched my Ready Player One review last week. Not only was it an amazing movie, but I got an enormous amount of response both on my podcast version and on my video version on YouTube. So thank you so much for that. I really hope in the future I get a lot more just like that, and the community just grows. So thank you very much. Now, for this review, I went to go see A Quiet Place. Now, A Quiet Place is a horror, right? Horror-based movie. And come to find out, not a lot of my friends like horror movies. So I don't mind watching movies by myself. So I went alone. I used to do it before, so I really don't mind because I really enjoy the theater atmosphere. But my wife in particular really does not like horror, so there was no way I could get her to go to see this one. So that being said, my goodness, what a great film. I mean, from beginning to end, the story alone from A Quiet Place is beautifully done. Now here, let me go ahead and go down to it. So A Quiet Place is based around a particular family whom are forced, right, to live in this very silent sign language, very quiet living style. And why would that be? Well, there are these creatures. They're not named, and they're not really mentioned as monsters, creatures, or even aliens for that matter. They're just there. They're actually just known, right? And I think that really sets off already for a very good modernization of this type of creature and how it comes about. Now, throughout the film, there are newspapers and sources and just completely run down cities. Like there is just abandonment everywhere. So there really is there are bits and pieces, and I don't want to give too much away, obviously, but that detail a little more. But the general sense is these monsters have taken over, and the only way to survive is to be very, very, very quiet, right? Just whispers, even, or, a possible threat, which is amazing when it's brought to the big screen, because the sheer terror of just being in silent alone with no music, no words at all, just visually seeing what is happening already takes your breath away. It makes you gulp and hold on to your breath until something actually happens and the sound comes into place. So it's beautifully done. The story is so good. What makes it so good is new director and writer John Krasinski, which most is famously known from The Office, the American version of The Office, did just an amazing job. For someone, especially, might I add, seeing a lot of recent interviews, was not a horror fan until he read this script and then loved the genre after that. And after you watch this movie, you'll be a fan too, because it's very well done. But the acting by John Krasinski and his wife, whom is casted as his wife in this film, Emily Blunt, the beautiful and fantastic Emily Blunt, is just amazing. Like, their sheer passion that shows on film to play these two parents showed not only experience by their own realization of being partnered and having children, but what one must do what one must do in order to survive and protect their family. It's just amazing. This has so many emotions throughout the entirety of the film. All you're doing is doing this stare and non-blinking, just because you're so captured by everything that's happening, and it's just so well done. Might I add, the children in the film are absolutely amazing. There is one in particular that stands out over the other. I won't give away too much as far as to that, but they both do a fantastic job of leading the roles of kids and the environment and still trying to live what is known at this time as a normal life. So the acting just so well done. It really brings the story to life with their emotions. And there are so many scenes in this film where the emotions are so overwhelming and so intense that it just makes it such a unique film to see. Now, for the score, you're probably wondering, well, it's supposed to be this quiet movie, and what kind of music could it possibly have? Well, the music is also amazing when it shows up. There isn't too much, but in certain parts where it is needed, the suspense music, right? That kicker that kicks in all types of movies, whether it is horror, suspense, thriller, whatever we have you, that music kicks off and it's just like that. Here it's about to come moment. But because the film is mainly silent and quiet throughout, and you're paying attention, either to the subtitles for what they're saying in sign language or just their emotions on the screen, the music, when it does show up, is fantastic. It has this very eerie sense. So let me go ahead and play you guys a bit so you can feel that eeriness as well. So, if you're watching this at night, just be warned. You might have to go and check like every door now. But the music did bring a certain intensity along with everything that was done throughout the film just to bump it up a notch. It was already fantastic as it is, but the music does give it that traditional horror atmosphere. But this movie is just so unique. It does make you think about a lot of different situations of what can happen. Definitely has me very interested in sign language, as I have been for many of years, and just how communication can not just be done with words, but just with sheer emotion on your face, right? Body language is something huge. Just doing sign language, yes, which is very common in here, or just by movement on its own. It just shows a different side and a very different uniqueness. And let's just face it, in most horror movies, you don't really like the characters. You probably know they're going to die off. On this one, man, it is just so good. So, John Krasinski, I salute you for your work. It was very well done and one of the best horror films I have seen in a many of years. And I love this genre. I'm giving you 4 stars. 4 stars for A Quiet Place. If you're a fan of horror, you will absolutely love this movie. If you're very interested and you're open to the idea of something besides like a normal hack and slash, or a typical, a bunch of teens go into this cabin in the woods for no particular reason to get completely drunk, and then there's a mass murderer out there, then you will absolutely be taken away by this film. It is beautiful from beginning to end. It shows the potential one will do for family, and most importantly, it shows the struggles one must go to in such dire situation. So if you guys don't want to hear my geek out moment for any spoilers, we'll end here. I will also be doing my podcast version, which is on the Anchor app and also on iTunes. You guys can catch me on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, so look out for me from there on Spaniard Reviews. Thank you guys so much again for the support. I really, really do appreciate it. It makes this all worth the while and just makes it just so much more fun. So thank you guys so much. Now, if you guys stuck around for the Geek Out moment, I still don't want to give too much away, because even just one piece gives away so much in here. So I figured I'd give something that was a little bit seen in the trailer that was still a big geek out moment for me as a horror fan. So towards the beginning of the film, they're in their house, their little cabin wooden home that they have out in the farmland, and they're just playing a game of Monopoly. The children and the father and mother, John Krasinski's character and Emily Blunt's character, just doing their own thing while the kids are playing Monopoly. And the cool thing is they're playing Monopoly with these like yarn pieces instead of the typical pieces, because they don't want to make any noise. So that already set the meter of intensity super high. So I'm in my seat going, oh my gosh, something's going to happen. I know it's going to happen. So the kid accidentally hits after moving one of the pieces. He accidentally knocks over, the lamp, the little lantern, and it actually had, like a candle lit in it. So it started a fire. So the dad comes down and starts putting it out, and immediately, this sign, the shush sign, right? Where you put your index finger to your mouth. After this movie, that sign will scare you to death. Just absolutely scared. Like it will never be the same, that sign. And immediately the father puts his finger here, and the entire sound, and even the audience that I was sitting with, is silent. And you're just waiting, because the movie's already all silent to begin with. So now it just intensifies more, because you're just waiting. You're like, what am I supposed to hear? Haven't heard anything all this entire time through the movie. You're freaking out. You're doing it. And then all of a sudden, you start hearing loud noises. And then even more intensity just as you see the fear in the kids' eyes and the shaking of their hands and their face. And Emily Blunt's character is just watering, like her eyes are watering. It's just such a powerful scene, especially at the beginning of the film. So it was just all around amazing, guys. So thank you so much for watching my Geek Out moment and my entire review. Again, you can watch this on YouTube. If you do like it, please like, comment, subscribe. I would really appreciate it. I'm also on Facebook, on Twitter, and on Instagram. And if you want to listen to the podcast version while you're driving to work or on your lunch break, you can catch it on the Anchor app and also on iTunes. Just look for Spaniard Reviews. Thank you guys again so much. I really do appreciate it. More content will be coming out. Just stay tuned to my Facebook or my Twitter for more updates. Thank you guys so much. You guys have a great week.